Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing a fall inspired tutorial because it's almost fall time and I'm just ready for it. So we're going to be doing a fall tutorial using the Bling Boss from the Jaclyn Hill Vault collection. So if you want to see how to get that look, then just keep watching. Alright, so we're going to do the whole face. So I did already spray my face with the Pixie Hydra Milk. I think that's what it's called. I use that all the time, so I've already done that. So we're gonna go in with the Smashbox Primerizer because I always use this because I have really dry skin. I'm gonna take a little bit of the Cover FX Blurring Primer. Is there a kind? No. So then I'm assuming it's the same. I got this in a BoxyCharm and I really do like it. It's really thick. It is colored when you take it off or when you take it out, but it doesn't end up showing like color. So I'm just gonna put that where I have like a lot of pores. So I am going to be using the Too Faced Do You foundation. I did do a review on this and it wasn't the greatest review. It wasn't a bad review. I will link it up here if you want to see it, but it's not that I didn't like it, I just wasn't obsessed with it. But it's like I said in the video, I bought it, so I'm going to use it, and I have been using it every day. I did find out a way to get it fuller coverage faster, so in the video I just went straight from pumping it onto my hand to using the sponge to blend it out, and I found it was easier if I used like a flat foundation brush first and painted it on and then buffed it out. It got the coverage there faster. Alright, you guys gotta go. We're gonna add some of the Hourglass Stick Foundation. Don't do this at home. If you are like me and you have the redness issue and it drives you insane, do it. If not, you don't need to apply this much foundation. I just can't help it. It drives me bonkers. Let's move on. I'm gonna take the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer in the shade Swan. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm Swan in the foundation as well. This is so yellow. Now, while I'm letting this sit, I'm gonna just get my powder ready. So I'm gonna use the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder in the shade Fair. And I don't know if you noticed, I don't bring the concealer all the way up to my eye. When I blend it out is when I bring that up, so that way it's not as much product where my eye creases. Still a lot of product, but it's not as much. I just use a big fluffy brush since I do have so much dry skin. I don't really want to pack on the powder. So then I like, and I didn't mention, this is the Estetica P12. So then I'm going to go in with this Morphe E41, which is my favorite huge brush, to just pack powder on the rest because I noticed this foundation takes way too long to set, in my opinion. I can't stand it, so I just set a light layer of this powder everywhere. And I've noticed my dryness is stuck in the T-zone, or is in the T-zone. So my cheeks, it doesn't bug me to powder up a bunch, like it doesn't cake up. Let's move on. The bronzer. So I'm gonna go in with the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronzer in Tantastic. This is like my favorite bronzer. I'm gonna use the Eco Tools Precision Blush Brush for bronzer. Because why you gotta try to find me like that? I'm trying not to hold up white things, because I don't know if you've ever noticed, it really shifts the color in my video. So I'm trying to stop. So I don't really contour my nose because I just don't care about it. I don't know why. To me, I like the shape of my nose in comparison to my face. I do find it looks odd for me when I'm so bronzed out here and there's nothing here. So what I do is I don't add any extra product to my brush, but then once I'm done doing this, I'll just kind of go over it lightly on the sides just to kind of pull the color into the rest of my face, basically. So for blush, I'm going to go in with the BH Cosmetics Professional Blush 10 Color Blush Palette. This is what it looks like. This is the inside. Ooh. So I think I'm gonna stick with the fall-ish shade, so I'm gonna use this darker color here. And I don't like blush too much, so I'm gonna use a stippling brush. I think I got way too much on this. And then we just buff it in. I got too much. Ooh, that's pigmented. So what I do is I constantly, regardless of how I feel about pigmented, I get heavy-handed very easily. So what I do is I go in with a, I can't think of what it's called, a light colored shade, basically a skin color shade, and I just use the one from the Park Avenue Princess. And I take the colors and I just mix the two because they're both almost gone. And first I clean up, and I don't like it coming this far, so I clean it up first and then I cover it. So then I'll take this shade and just kind of tap over it just to kind of dull it down some so it's not as intense. For highlighter, in the fall I like to do deeper things even though I'm really fair skinned. So this is going to be too deep on me, but I use it and then lighten it, so I'll show you. So this is the Makeup Forever Pro Sculpting Duo in the shade, it's whited out, it's scratched off. I think it's 01, 03. It's the dark gold and a bronzer. I've never once used the bronzer because it will never work for my skin. But I do like this highlighter. It just is really dark for me. But I can still make it work, so I will kind of apply it lightly-ish. Not really. So now it's on my skin, and I don't know if you can see how like deep it is on me. I mean, I can still make it work. It's nothing like that Fenty one, but I can still make it work even though it's really gold. But what I like to do then is after I do that, I kind of create like a contour highlight on my highlight when I use deep ones. So now I'm gonna go in with the Pixi Glowy Gossamer Duo in Subtle Sunrise, and I am going to use the light champagne-ish color. So then what I do is I still take the same brush and I do this on the high points, and then I just kind of buff it everywhere on my forehead, but we just do it on the high points and then kind of buff it out. And for me, I find that that works, and I'm obsessed with this highlighter. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do my foundation. I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyebrows off camera, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and actually did my eyebrows and one eye just to see how I wanted to do this. So for the eyebrows, I use the BH Cosmetics Shape and Define Duo Brow Pencil. And then I also use the NYX Tinted Brow Gel, or Brow Mascara, sorry. These lashes are insane. Like, they're even longer than this. I just cut like right here because it was way too long. I got them in the BoxyCharm. They are the House of Lashes Bambi. Like, look how long these things are. Like, I had to cut this and it's still crazy long. Anyways, so let's just jump right into using this palette. So this is what the palette itself looks like. The first shade I'm gonna take is called Hush Hush. It's just like a very, very neutral pinky mauve tone. We're going to put that in my crease. So what I did is I actually bring this color all the way over here as well, because since I'm doing a deep shade on the lash, a deep shade on the whole lid, I bring this all the way over. And this is the Morphe M504 if you're curious. Mike, can you come focus me? I cut this. It was longer. And I'm like,
They're so beautiful.
They're so freaking huge. Okay, thanks. And I know there's a lot of like controversy on these palettes. I had no problem blending this eye. Okay, next I'm gonna go in with the shade Sparks, which is this red shade. And I'm gonna take that on a MAC 217 brush, 217, whatever you wanna call it. And we're just gonna lightly put that in the crease. And then I just keep going back and forth with the first transition shade and then the Spark shade to Sparks shade, just to blend them together. And then just build up until I like the colors. So this shade, I bring it in to about here. I drag kind of what's left, but I don't really focus anything else in the corner. So then to give this a little bit more purpley tone, I go in with the shade Rockstar, which is very similar, but it's more purple where this is red. I'm going to take that on the Morphe M505 and just basically put that in the same exact place. I just liked using the other color to kind of build the dimension more and more. Alright, and then I'm going to just go back in with that first Hush Hush shade again and blend it all together. So now I'm going to jump to the lid shade, and that is the shade Pizzas. It's this shimmery red shade, and I'm going to use my MAC 242 brush. When I first did it on this eye, I did not wet it, so I'm going to do the same thing on this eye, just because I want them to be the same. And I literally just took that all the way across the lid. This shade does give you fallout, so keep that in mind. Okay, I'm going to leave that as it is right now. I'm going to go back in with the M505 and that Rockstar shade just to kind of blend everything together. And then back in with the fluffy brush, the M504, but nothing on it. So then I'm going to take this shade Mystic, which is like a really deep purple shade. And I'm going to take that on a pencil brush. I'm going to take that on the Morphe E17, so it's like a pointed pencil brush. And we're going to build that on the outer V. So this is the color that I'll start bringing onto my lid out here. So then I'm going to go back in with my MAC 242. I'm going to spritz it with some MAC Fix Plus. Oh, we're almost out. And then I'm going back in with that Piazza, however you say that one. And then we're just going to intensify this lid. So then let's move on to the lower lash line first. I'm going to dust any product that may have fell. So I'm going to take a fluffy brush, the Morphe M506, and I'm going to take that Sparks, which was the light red shade, or the lightest red shade. I'm going to lightly buff that on the bottom lash line. I don't want too much because this could start to make you look like you're punched, but I want the gradient. And I'm just going to take that along the whole lower lash line. And then I'm going to take a different pencil brush. This is the Morphe E18, and I'm going to take that Rockstar shade and just buff that in the same place but a little higher, closer to the lash line. And I'm going to really tie it in with the outer V in the top lid too. And then I'm going to focus it on the outer lash line but then bring the remaining on the inner so that it's all there in color but it's not as intense. And then we'll take my flat definer and some Morphe E43, and we're going to take that Mystic shade and put it right along the lash line on the outer edge. Okay, so then real quick we're going to move to liner. So I was at first on this eye using my Maybelline Curvitude liner, but it kind of dried out as I was doing it, and so it kind of got really wonky on the end. So I switched to using the Pretty Vulgar gel and the Blacklist. So we're just going to use that for the whole thing on the other eye. And we just create our wing, which I might have to not have this on camera because I gotta be down here and I'm not very good at it. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm going to go back into that Mystic shade with my flat definer brush, and I'm just gonna kind of get the eyeliner to smudge with this color on the lower lash line, so it's not as like a harsh like stopping. Then I'm going to go in with, where is it? Here we go. I'm gonna go in with the Marc Jacobs, it's a little baby. We're gonna go in with the Marc Jacobs eyeliner in black. I don't know if there's a name. And I'm just gonna do that for the top and bottom lash. Then I'm gonna go back in with the palette and take this shade called Bling Bling, and it's just a really bright pink. And I am gonna spray my brush with Max Fix Plus. Oh, it's done for. It's like it's gone.
And I put that on the inner corner, as well as my brow bone.
Okay. Next. For mascara, I'm going to use the Wander Beauty Unlashed Volume and Curl Mascara. So now we're gonna go in with the Bambi lashes from House of Lashes. They are insane. So I don't actually need to cut them lengthwise because they fit my eye, which is shocking. I didn't realize my eye was that big. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it now because I cut it when it was on my eye and that was kind of scary. So this middle is just way too long for my eye shape. So I'm gonna trim it down some, which I realize makes it look less realistic, but let's be real, this eye is not realistic anyways. So then I'm going to use the House of Lashes lash glue. I'm going to grab a little mascara just to kind of bind them together, even though I probably shouldn't because it ruins the lashes, but how often do I really wear lashes? So we're going to try to use ColourPop in the shade Brink. I feel like I used this last time, but it's sitting right here. I don't know why, I just don't like this lip with it. Let me try adding a little of this. We're gonna add a little Gold Digger, see what happens. Okay, I don't care that much. So this is the finished look. Like I said, this palette actually blended out really nicely. I didn't have any problems with it. These lashes are probably going in the trash after this because they're just way too big for my eye shape and my preference. But anyways, that's all I have for this video, so thank you for watching and I will see you in my next one.